SEB Embedded is an initiative that sprung out of something called SEB X, which is an exploration initiative that we started as an innovation studio more than 5 years ago, with the intention really of exploring new businesses, but also exploring new tech. So in an era where technological developments are really accelerating, customer experiences and customer expectations are shifting dramatically, the ability to bring new products and services to our customers have never been greater, and the number of new entrants coming into the market is accelerating at a fast pace as well. So many moving parts, and against the backdrop of changing regulatory environments and shifting dynamics in the society at large. Against that kind of a backdrop, we gave ourselves the opportunity really to try and build and explore technology and business from scratch. We're a financial institution that's been around since 1856. So yes, we've been around for a long time, but we want to make sure that we can future-proof ourselves, and we're doing that in a number of different ways. Now, given the opportunity to build from scratch, we really asked ourselves, which are the capabilities, the functionalities, and the part of the architecture where we really think that we have a real competitive advantage. And that's a lot down to kind of the IP that comes from the bank, knowing how things, what kind of challenges come around when you put together a banking platform infrastructure. Ability to manage complex financial relationships between different parties, being able to offer financial services in different contexts. Things that we've learned over the year that, hey, this gets messy after a while unless you keep it architecturally very modular and scalable and flexible. So all that we've put in and build those applications. So those are the things that we really think we can define and design, and we want to own and hold and build those. Now, when it comes to the basic infrastructure pieces, so take the, maybe the broadest one, the cloud infrastructure. We don't think it makes sense to build our own cloud infrastructure, so we have a couple of big public cloud providers to choose between. Then you kind of look at the different pieces of the stack, and then we said, okay, the cloud native core banking ledger. A lot of banks around the world has now jumped on and say, hey, this is a good core banking ledger that works well in the cloud. We don't think we're going to differentiate our offering on the ledger. Said, okay, so we need a card processor. And there we're working with Enfuce, and we think that's, again, somebody who's born cloud natively, working effectively and with an innovative mindset, and a forward-leaning way of approaching, technological infrastructure around cards and card processing, but orchestrating this combination of services, products, and providers. That's where we think that we can really bring something unique to the marketplace. What we've been trying to do in Embedded is kind of combine those two skill sets, if you like. It means that sometimes we're going to be a bit slower than the fintechs because we are part of the regulated bank and we need to do more checks and controls and balances along the way. But sometimes we're going to be faster than the fintech because we don't have to, apply for licenses, and we don't have to build a balance sheet. So the two sides that you are portraying are really what we're trying to combine in an initiative like SEB Embedded. We settled on a conclusion to say we need a card processor which is, probably the next breed of card processors from a technology perspective. Somebody who's been born cloud native and has, from the very beginning, a little bit like SEBX, said that how would we do this if we started from scratch? So why did we choose Enfuce? There were a number of different reasons. I mean, we have those technological hygiene factors say that here are the things that we're really looking for. Who can help us deliver banking as a service? It means the ability to operate in this kind of cloud type environment. It means swift response to change requests. It means high degree of configurability. It means modern API and microservices-based infrastructure. But of course, we want to work with partners that have a good and prosperous business to grow themselves. So those were things that came into the mix, and why we eventually decided to go with Enfuce, which so far we're very happy with. Yeah, so that's a good question. So basically what then happened, building this new infrastructure from scratch, how do we scale that? But now we want to leverage and scale this infrastructure and really add as much volume on it as possible to reap the benefits of scale. And that's really where the thought of lending this platform more broadly into the marketplace occurred. Then we also opened this up to external distributors. So we're talking to retailers and media companies and entertainment companies and digital platforms of different forms and shapes that are looking to embed financial services into their digital user journeys. And the more mature we become, the more important it is that the partners that we get on board will be up and running. They've done this before, they know how it's done, and they know what the critical parts of the mission are, and how to go about getting things done. So yes, we are a buyer, and yes, they are a seller of the particular service or product that we're procuring, but it is a true partnership that we are helping each other out. We are referring other customers like, hey, here's a good service. We can really recommend it. In some cases, we even invest in some of the technology partners that we're working with. We made so many mistakes along the way. That things that we could have done differently. We've made so many learnings. And one of the greatest accomplishments that we've had with SEBX, now SEB Embedded, is the team that we put together and what they could produce. And now we're building and delivering banking as a service. If there was a tweak in the market, if things moved or changed, I am super excited and confident about the team's ability to say, hey, we need to tweak or pivot or do something a little bit differently. So getting a team working effectively together around modern and next generation infrastructure and technologies, that to me I totally underestimated the value of having that in place. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? You have to go for things that could eventually end up being a learning, defined as a failure, because there is just no way that innovation is going to happen without the acceptance that some things will not work out the way you expected them.